the first move, and who should do what to ensure that Charlie, people don't leave home and not come back for reasons that are completely avoidable. Completely avoidable. Meantime, Winston, we've been asking people to tweet at us and tell us if they have come across any in this country over the government giving a contract to Jospong to provide a road towing service. What did we do instead? Did we do anything instead? Did we find some other way of getting?
At the time, state-sponsored towing services, state trucks, which are supposed to be doing the towing. What we're going to do is run it in two folds. The private ones will in Accra, they will come, tow the car, you come and pay for it. That is what they said was the immediate solution at the time to what was supposed to be the problem.
Right. And have
At that place. After the event, post facto, it tells you that it's either we have failed properly to think about what should be killing us, or we just don't care.
Factors that are causing these road accidents. I want to talk about design thinking. Design thinking. It's a very simple thing that is missing from so many poor countries. Design thinking. And 90% of the time, design thinking doesn't cost extra money. It just is brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you.
Hello, welcome Pagadan for passenger and cargo transportation. This is part of moves to ensure that the about 70-kilometer railway line begins operations by November this year. Prices of some petroleum products are expected to. This has added a layer of competitiveness to consumable products through the introduction of a health safety seal called Obesima. The relevance of this seal is to improve on the quality of products. Egypt financial damages. An Egyptian court ordered the vessel's Japanese owner to pay $900 million in compensation as a result of losses inflicted. And
You're welcome back. A quick happy birthday from Ernest Eduse of GT Bank to his daughter Nanaya Inshira Eduse of Go Green Community School, Tema. Message is God grant you grace and realize your fullest potential. Before we get the takes of Winston and Raymond, you've heard what happened this morning. I'm going to ask a question that is a bit broad, but I know you understand why.
We don't have a system. Do we have it? We don't have it at all. If the system is working, then I know you've heard all the E's that we talk about on road safety, engineering of roads, automated, okay, that is through solar, right? And then the issue of we need to pull it and so on. Then after that, we talk about the driver himself. Has he been a defensive driver? Was he wearing alertness and tolerance? I'll come to that later on to explain what I'm talking about. Then you also talk about the vehicle, and then that's the dim lights, and then the highlights you see up to 100 meters. What about the vehicle must have two triangles, warning triangles, and then depending on where the accident is working. And then this driver could have even called the police emergency to say, look, this is what is happening, it's not working. Do we have it? So, Kojo, that's the main facts.
Yeah, thank you for that, Uncle Savings. Flexibility to transact with your checks is also available with the Flex Plus account. So you get competitive interest, high interest on your deposit, and still be able to operate as you wish. For further details, just contact 0302-216-000.gh. You can also follow them on their social media handles for updates. Terms and conditions apply. CBG.
We've talked about the fact that, yes, the roads are dark. We've talked about, having the police do the right 6 p.m. and what happened to that. But one thing I want to focus on this morning is our own attitudes. Look, bus terminal. There's a truck parked on the road. It's damaged.
Right now?
Yes, today. Now.
After what has happened?
Now. I'm sure he knows. Yes, we'll talk about how the police must ensure a lot of things are done. But sometimes responsibility still is involved in an accident. Immediately while you wait for your car to be towed, you warn, those who are using the road that this is what has happened to my car. Did he think, okay, well, the car is damaged, that's the end of it, I am gone? It looks like that. The impact and how the driver, according to eyewitness, had to be taken because that the driver was speeding based on the impact of the accident. You ask yourself, when you're using the road at defensive driving, what do? You must be extra careful because you have people. That driver who's been jailed 5 years apologizes because he says, I erred. So of the Ghanaian. Look, on Monday, I was returning from the gym, using in my lane the road. Even when I was signaling him that, for Christ's sake, you're in my lane, he didn't bother. Somebody who ran into us while we're on our lane, he veers off this lane, gets into our lane. You saw his attitude and what it looked like he had drunk before he ran into us.
Yeah.
So look, in ourselves, all of us owe it a responsibility to protect the next person on the road. We think some imaginary human must change his attitude. Look, go to, do we not know, for instance, that if you're going to renew your roadworthy certificate recent times, they tell you, Cecil is here if I'm lying.
Very true.
No, we ask the question, do you want to bring your car?
You have to do it.
The problem we face as a country is our attitude. Go around. I mean, you can, where you have speed limits, they actually would go contrary to the speed limit. They go more than that, they are arrested, and they start others responsible. But like the primary school book that says, look to yourself, you have majority of that responsibility in ensuring that the right things are done. Leave it and say,
This is what happens when you do this.
It's very, very important. I'll end on this note. Have we not seen people going into church? Have we not seen people walking in town? You go to certain parts of the country where you're told, as for this place, we don't have COVID-19. When we have all been advised to wear our attitudes. The fact that we think things are far away from us. They can never happen to us. But as we think that way, that's why we have supervisors. But they also have attitudinal problems. And that's why we are where we are.
Defensive driving. Somebody just drove into the back of a truck. Could defensive driving have prevented that? Uncle C, first of all, help driving defensively.
Right. I have the definition that not necessarily a slower driver or rider, but a good driver or offensive driver must always wear his coat. And this is the coat that I mentioned, that it is not that concentration. That really means that you are really holding, President Mahama is on this radio, so let me change it. Everything up before you sit in the vehicle, right? It's a long C, I'm just summarizing it. The O is observation. Now, you need red lights. If you're going to turn in good time, let others know your intention. Very alert. That is the A in quote. To be very, very alert. You know, there's this going to insist on right of way. That is not going to happen because a lot of people don't, and all those things. You have to exercise that constraint. Be very careful of other road users. Then tolerant. On the road, you have the issue of road rage. So this is the summary of defensive driving. But then if you delve into it, fit to drive, and when we talk about fitness, we are talking about medically fit, on truck drivers, and we realized that those who come from Burkina Faso, Mali, and so on, they set off. And then that is why we advise all of us that, look, if you are traveling, don't set up at dawn, crash into you, okay? Now, so the human being, you need to sleep for 8 hours. And even if you are traveling, what food are you going to eat? Don't go and sit at any chopper and then, eat your favorite banku or fufu, and that should keep you going, right? Again, a human being, are you really fit in? No, you take cough syrup, it's written on it that don't operate any equipment. Do they know? They don't know. I have met an accident on the road, hit into another 207 bus. The bus had to turn upside down, and people died in that bus. I was there as a witness, and the vehicle in the morning, and then off you go. Right, that's also one major issue of being a defensive driver. I always talk about car ties. And the ties must be up to 6 years. Whether it's, and if you see like 4 digits, it's written 50, 20 week of the year 2020. That tie has got 6 years more to go. Okay, now if you look at the ties that we use in this country, that is also one other serious fact that we need to. So we had the Bonsa ties and so on. Why can't we manufacture our own ties and then, and then use what we change matters? Your brake pads matters. When was the last time? Brake pads are supposed to be changed depending on the model and have it checked. If your pads are worn out, please change them. As for brakes, it's again, check for other leaks before you set off. Right. So this is just a summary, but people in the vehicle also, right? And this is the main cause of many accidents in this country. Just who sit in vehicles do not know how to drive. They don't understand anything on driving. All they know is they don't care. The only thing is that, hey, Meko Kumasi, how many hours? If it's 4 hours, he's looking at his time. Overtaking, and there's this long broken lines. Okay, that is itself is dangerous because it doesn't say that you must overtake for sure, right? So the passengers, do they know what goes on driving? In town, it's 50 kilometers per hour. When you are traveling to Kumasi, 80 kilometers per hour. Israel is the best driver. Yes, because really? I took Israel round about a year ago. Spoke about speed limit regulation, and then you ask yourself that if we are all driving at 50 kilometers per hour, then there shouldn't be any accident, because the faster you braking distance, all must be effective when you are driving. Israel is the best driver. I've seen him about 2 times drive. Right now, this passenger driver from Accra to Kumasi will drive about between 80 and 100 kilometers. What about the tires? Right? When was it checked? The bushings and so on that we've run on a lot of potholes, and therefore all those. So, talking about speed limiters, by law, if you look at my airline, it's so old. I've read. Now we have National Road Safety being an authority, and then we have DVLA also, and the limiters must be calibrated that you cannot drive more than 80 kilometers per hour. Accidents that we have, it's all due to speed. Okay, it's all due to speed, and then we need to look at it very. The speed limit will now be in front of the passengers. I hope you're at the speedometer, which is digital. As soon as it gets to 88, to driver. So what could speed to do? Let me blow my horn a little bit. We are 25 years. My company is 25 years old.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
we're just waiting for the COVID, praying that, the COVID will be done. We want to do outreach programs, get to the stations and talk to drivers and from our homes now. I have my late daddy's rosary in my pocket. I don't leave the house. We go and come back safely. Look at what happened this morning. Look at it. Accra was here, but look at what happened. You are gone. They will not see you, and they will see you arrive in pieces. It is so sad. So I spoke about the human being. I spoke about the engineering of the roads and pedestrians. You all know what happened at Adenta, where, I mean, ties were bent and so on. I think about 6 years ago, people were crying. Look, yesterday, what about the arrest that we make? You do an arrest, and then what will happen is that there will be a phone call saying, look, he's my sister's brother's cousin's mother's. Even where you are a defensive driver, it doesn't really hold. On where I live, because I don't want any trouble, I find a 4x4. Now, today, every 4x4 has fixed a strobe light. And then those strobe lights, red and blue, are meant for individuals using 4x4. Have gone to Abusok, and it's so easy to fix it. And they are handicapped. They will see, oh, it's a government official. But nobody is above the law here. Nobody. If you're a minister, and even you are, well, I think I'm deviating the issue on defensive driving.
Oh,
because,
we're still learning.
I get so, angry about this. Collect 1 CD from anybody. There are other policemen there who are very interested in collecting money, giving him the right motto to use. Now, he does so well. Now he's getting envelopes. You stop condemning them because we have very good ones. He stays on the road. He sees the strobe light. They need to do the right thing. Yeah. Go in and then request for the rider so that by driving in the middle of the road, which is a very serious offense. They either drive in the middle or on the shoulder, that the police needs to arrest and follow them to court so that the court will be to just be so fast. I remember those times, the Kufuor time, and people were paying thousands to cry their stupidity on the road. I'll say that. And then they will learn from this. They should get out from their vehicle, give them a broom or something, and they should sweep like 2 kilometers. They will learn from this. Say, hey, don't do it. But we need to do it because we have a lot of drivers who are really recalcitrant in our country.
Uncle Cecil, we can't thank you enough. You've certainly canvassed the issues in a way that really highlights the people's idiocy on the roads. Thank you so much for that.
And to be fair, there's a reason why Ghanaians live in Ghana and they drive recklessly. When they live in the UK, they don't do that. And they really care about how they are going to go to work and their safety. That reason is because, on one hand, wrongs done is a law in the UK, and 1988 law that says that if you cause death by reckless or dangerous driving, you are prosecuted as. So they determined that, and you're almost dealt with like somebody who caused murder. Very different from the way, and he comes to apologize that, oh, I think I did something wrong. If he were to be in the UK, he would have been prosecuted when nobody is looking, when people are not holding a cane over us. And I actually think that to fix the attitude problem, first, a bus conductor, a mate to the driver, he learns at night through some illegal means and ends up being the driver. Goes to the testing and fails, he still gets to be rewarded.
Yeah.
How is it possible that somebody who obviously has no education at all to go through? Obviously, we have failed to ensure that the person on the road is the right person. So we have, there was this study I read that we have almost have the right attitude because he can't connect to be there. It's just like failing exams and still being promoted. There's no way you have the right attitude to do the right thing because you believe any other time can cut corners. If it's speeding, you can cut corners. We're being caught and actually evade you licenses at home. And today, there are people still being told that even if you fail the test, because we can find ways to get you there. And we don't see driving to be a very serious issue. That's why we treat it that way. So if he's protecting lives, if he believes that it is his responsibility to guard the gate and make sure that the right people are given the licenses, parading the streets as drivers today. So that point ought to be fixed completely. If we fix who gets there. Secondly, our public transport system is in complete disarray. You can have a driver who is properly trained, driving a good car. You can also have a driver who's in a car and the car is in a terrible state. He actually got it there, and they sent him the papers. The test did not happen in the first place, but they sent him the papers. If such a car is on the road, and if you have used trotro, now potholes in the car that you can see the road there, we know it. They are still on our roads. We don't care. We wait for people to die and fix our public transport system. There's a study that said that the drivers and the cars of STC compared to other cars were less likely to engage in accidents. And the drivers that were used to train them, that we have deployed over the years, so that we can be convinced that that car is a proper car on the road. That car is supposed to be policemen all the time. Their attitude is that they are chasing those young boys with big Benz and DV plates. That's basically looking out for money from them. And when they give them the money, no matter how dangerous the person was driving, no matter how, there's no way we can rid ourselves of accidents.
Okay, imagine a world with no problems. This is the biggest problem with our attitude as Ghanaians. We don't have enough design thinking. Design is one of the things that as a nation we have just not embraced. So you need cups, you need tea bags, you need sugar, milk and all of that. You need hot water. Okay. So yes, when I finish making these cups of tea, I'll have tea bags that I have to take out of each cup before I have. That's design thinking. So you anticipate the problems. You understand the user. And this is what is missing from our transport sector. This is a big reason why we have all this. They realize that over time, when people come and buy homes from us, in the first 12 months, it's fixing them over the 12 months, and it was eroding into the profit of the company. So somebody said, let us, so that when people come, they will not have those problems, and we will not have to spend money solving them. Is there not design solutions to them? We just let them happen. Even though it has happened this morning, no design thinking. And look, there are many other examples on our roads. If you go around, you will find numerous examples of a failure to design. We build something, we call it a road, even though it legally doesn't qualify to be a road. There's no, repeatedly we do this.
And
so when there's,
it won't last too.
Thank you. And when there's an accident, there you find tow trucks unable to reach the vehicle, just like ambulances. In fact, where are the tow trucks? Where are they? Look, not only are we failing to employ design thinking, but we are also the human factor, the vehicles, and then we have the road or the driving environment. So vehicles are designed, by companies that spend a lot of time on design thinking. They build all kinds of safety measures into your car. Then we come and the safety that has been designed for 12 people is no longer valid for the 18. You are all in danger if you have an accident. You have a car that doesn't have seat belts. It doesn't have airbags. All the things that have been designed to keep you put in there, and they are not complaining either. We are negating the design. We abandon cars in the fast lane. Do we even know that what a fast lane is only for overtaking? Uncle C, am I wrong?
Yeah, I think you should contact Israel. Israel can give you a lot of information with design thinking. And then I give you a pat on your shoulders. That's the multimedia for Lekmas Road.
Yeah.
People are driving towards the opposite direction. There are no road markings. And, it is so your work. We need to, do the hammering for that road to be used very well. It's a good road. Design thinking. Is it really effective? It is not. We really have to sit down. And, road crashes will happen every day. What's the statistics? 6 a day? It is more than 6 a day.
9 a day.
Yes. Himwa reported this morning there was a woman who was still standing there. Look.
In shock.
She's in shock. Yeah. But then I am sure the accident is more than people dying out of malaria. Cannot run away from it. We don't have trams here. Our bus rapid system did not work because we didn't do a whole. Any juju or something has been put in place because the system.
Fatalities involving children going down. Fatalities involving car or private car. Fatalities involving children.
We need someone must be involved. All of us, interior and so on. It's a collective issue. It is not national road safety.
Who will agree with you, no doubt. And we're so glad that you made the time to join us today. Look, this conversation
involving car or private car. Fatalities involving children going down. Fatalities involving car or private car.